Hi, everybody. It's LindaG, and I'm here with Sterling.
Good morning, everybody. And this is a
Our
fine
Sunday
Sunday
get
morning.
together. Yeah. And this isn't it looks like a candle. Sterling brought up, oh, is that a candle? It's actually a little light in the waterfall. The water makes it sparkle.
Linda, you're getting fancy.
Yes, I take the dishes out the sink before I, the old saying by Shirley MacLaine in Steel
Yeah.
Magnolias. Okay, here we go. We are taping. We're going to thank you for the questions. Thank you to Linda, Sterling's wife, who picks out the questions, and to Dan, who types them up, I believe,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and sends them over to me. So, okay, here we go. Leonard Leo, co-chair of the Federalist Society, is under investigation by DC Attorney General for his nonprofits and for funneling money into campaigns. Do you see Leonard Leo ever being criminally charged for any crimes and being brought to justice? Will they shut down some of his money laundering nonprofits?
I don't see him ever getting criminally prosecuted, but I do see the nonprofits being shut down. So I see like some IRS interaction or something going on there, and they shut down some of the nonprofits. It looks like he's a pretty cagey guy with a lot of back end support. So
And
it's
a lot
almost
of
like
attorneys.
it's almost like a shell game. So you think I'm here, then I'm over here, then I'm in this corporation. So he has a shell game going on in the back end. No criminal prosecution, but shutting down nonprofits are telling me. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Do you see Judge Cannon being replaced?
Always have. Yeah. But I always saw it happening because the federal government ends up working with the local district judges and says, look, based on these 3 or 4 parameters, she can no longer rule the case. And so they move her sideways. So it comes more from a federal side, convening with the local district judges, what I've always seen. Yeah. And I think that's coming up in weeks to months here. Like it's not that long. Yeah.
Oh, yay. What will happen to Evan Gershkovich, the reporter who is jailed in Russia for espionage? Will he and others be released soon, or will Putin need to go before that happens?
It looks like that particular reporter for me, interesting enough, looks like a prisoner exchange prior to the end of the year. Looks like he'll get out prior to the end of the year. I think he's under a 3-month review. Like I think they just reviewed and they have to wait 3 months or something in Russia. But by the end of the year, now, unfortunately, Paul Whelan, he's another captive over there. It looks like it's going to be out into next year for Paul.
With or without Putin?
Oh, well, the Putin factor, I think Putin's still going to be around. So, yeah, so Putin will still be involved, but it'll be a prisoner exchange.
Okay. Will the Senate change the rules so a simple majority rule really is the norm instead of needing 60%?
You know, I see that happening, but it's more like 2025 when that happens. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that point. Yeah. So all the new Congress and all that. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one. Georgia passed a law giving the GOP majority the right to remove Fani Willis from the RICO case. If they do so and remove Fani Willis, will the case be delayed?
So here's what I get on that, and I've seen this a couple of times, is that there's going to be some federal judge that's going to get involved and also like another federal like DA. But they're not going to completely, there's like a big collaboration with Fani Willis and whatever new DAs are going to get involved. So they never really fully remove her from her involvement in the case, but they somehow, there's another construct around it. So it's more like a collaborative team. So I don't see them fully pulling her out. And then you're asking what's the delay. I don't see the big delays, no.
Okay.
Yeah. Looks like it's going to go through the first couple of cases very shortly.
Yeah, October something.
Yeah.
She already got the date. Well, and I see her fighting them too. I see her fighting them.
Yeah,
so
I don't feel
that
they
go all the way to Supreme Court. I don't know what's going to happen, but
yeah.
Will Joe Manchin run for president? Also, if he leads the Democratic Party, the majority is lost. Well, what will happen in the Senate?
I always get the Democrats are going to get the majority across Congress. So regardless of Manchin or not, I do see him forming an exploratory campaign, but looks like it's a flash in the pan. So
It's really bad.
it looks like it comes out in the media. Oh, I'm thinking about running. I formed an exploratory campaign. And then after like a month or two, it's like, I'm pulling out. So, yeah.
Yeah, because he knows he can't win.
He doesn't get the money or the endorsement. Yeah.
When is the cruise ship industry going to environmentally take care of their waste?
Within 4 or 5 years. Looks like there's new technology coming for cruise ships that will like biodegrade a lot of the waste. So, but looks like that technology won't be economically viable for 4 or 5 years, what they're telling me. So,
have you ever been on a cruise?
No, I mean, I've been on the ships, but never taken the cruise. So,
yeah, I've never been on a cruise. I've never been on the ships. I get seasick so easy.
Yeah, never desired that. That's really, I've had many opportunities working with some major entertainment companies, but never wanted to go on the cruise. So,
yeah. When will the barbaric trappings of animals stop and become illegal?
Got a good 10 years to go for that across around the world. So there's something here like within the US, it happens a little faster within 5-6 years. And then around the world, there's some sort of like a World Humane Organization or something that standards. So within a decade worldwide, it looks like it'll be more humane. Yeah.
Fantastic. When a 45 supporter passes away, do they see the truth about 45?
Yeah, I mean the truth about the entire universe. So it's not just that. That's like a microcosm of the things that you learn. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, stupid, stupid, stupid. Okay, Sterling, you have mentioned before that ETs are sometimes at Starbucks. How can I tell if someone is an ET or a hybrid? What are the signs or characteristics we look for?
Oh yeah, that was a humorous mention. A lot of ET species have hybrids down the planet right now. But what's interesting is they do like caffeine. So for whatever reason.
Really?
So yeah. And so what's interesting is that some people have actually come to me and they've noticed some very odd behavior in certain coffee locations, right? Like somebody that they just got a chill from, that they were standing, their back was to them, but they could tell they knew everything was going on and turned around at the right minute. So there are hybrids that do run around coffee shops. It's actually a fact. So in order to tell, you have to really be a psychic medium to be able to tell who they are. You know, the average person is not going to be able to tell, you know.
Will the 45 Giuliani pardon grift be exposed? If so, will pardons given by 45 be revoked?
They will. And for me, that's upcoming in about 2 years. So it looks like there's more investigation going on about that grift of selling pardons. Yeah. And then it looks like within 2 years, any pardons that were bought and paid for do get retracted. Yeah.
All righty. Will the public ever find out that 45 sold classified documents to foreign countries?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that's within about a 1 to 2 year time frame. So it looks like something's coming out when they go through the documents case from Mar-a-Lago. There's something about the paper trail that'll lead them to other countries.
Well, actually see it. I could be wrong. My head is I can see it on Jack's desk right now. There's some information they fell across. They know it to be true, but they can't deal with it right now. They're going to deal with this other stuff first.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Will ETs help stop global warming?
Yes, the odd part is they already are. They're already having an effect on certain types of global warming or climate change around the world. And long term, there's a lot of new technology coming to be able to manage weather conditions and helping with green technology. So they're already helping right now. They've actually minimized a certain number of major hurricanes, which we haven't been privy to. So they're helping already.
Right. Okay, good. Hi, Linda and Sterling. Thank you both for all you do for us. Will 45 receive at least one criminal conviction before the election next November?
I see it. Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Is it Jack?
Yeah, and it'll be appealed. So it's still a conviction, but it'll be appealed. So that those cases are going to go 12 to 18 months easily. It's not going to be a fast.
But I do see Justice Thomas turned his back to Trump. So whatever comes through, it's so egregious. They have no choice but to let it stay.
Yeah, it looks like Thomas is will be on the outs and is the way he won't be able to help. So
Yeah. Highland, yeah, maybe the turning the back isn't necessarily that he voted no. It could be that he's out. Yep. Highland and Sterling, was the tragedy in Maui due to indirect nefarious neglect by a utility company and or local government officials in order to exacerbate any disasters for the purpose of gaining the land for development?
100% no to that assertion. This is a natural disaster, human error, not shutting off the electrical grid, plenty of warnings by the electric utility, high storm winds. You know, it was a perfect storm, so to speak, of a lot of human error. Yeah, unfortunately.
Right, and you know, we went through the Tubbs fire up here, and it was PG&E that had haphazardly not taking care of the lines or you know, trees laying on the lines. So when it happened, it was boom, boom, boom with 70-mile-an-hour gusts.
Yeah, Hawaii Utility or Hawaii Electric Company, they had an opportunity to de-energize the lines and they didn't do it. So, you know, there's a lot to be answered for there. They had plenty of warning about the storm conditions and they should de-energize the lines. Yeah.
It's so sad. Rick Scott, former governor of Florida, wants to get rid of Social Security. His seat is challenged by Democrat Debbie Mucarsel-Powell. And will she be successful?
Yeah, I see 100% that she'll unseat him. And I think I saw her a number of days ago on the news, but very articulate. Yeah, no, she's absolutely going to take the seat. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Because, you know, hello, a lot of people are on. In fact, that Alabama governor, Sarah Huckabee, one of the first things she did was took people off Obamacare, just took them all off, children and everything. I don't think she'll make another term.
I don't either. No.
Highland and Sterling, my son hopes to go to graduate school to study climate change. Do you see scientists and others being able to come up with solutions to help stop or slow climate change so that we can save our beautiful world?
Yeah, absolutely. Humanity is already behind a lot of changes coming up. So there's going to be a lot of very positive, both natural and scientific solutions to be able to turn climate change around and null the effects. So yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Do the people who set up the riot, including 45 on January 6th, also plan to have VP Pence assassinated?
I get, as strange as it kind of sounds, it was kind of an afterthought. It's
That's what
almost
I
like
got too.
as the crowd kind of swelled in anger and everything. And I think then 45 shot out some tweets, then it angered them. Yeah, I get, oddly as it sounds, it was like kind of an afterthought.
I don't think it was planned out from the beginning. I think
Right.
when he said Pence didn't do the right thing, they wanted to hang Mike Pence.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Trump didn't care. He wouldn't have minded if they did. It's terrible, but it's true. Homelessness is such a terrible problem that no one has been able to solve. I believe if Gavin Newsom cleans up the streets of California, he will have a legacy fit for a president. Do you see him accomplishing this in the next 5 years?
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Yay.
And it looks like, you know, it's a multifaceted problem. So he works, looks to me like he's going to work on all facets. So that's like job issues, healthcare, retraining, low income housing. There's a lot of elements to the problem. It's
Mental
not just
health mostly. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So it looks like there'll be a lot of programs he'll initiate, and it looks like be very successful. And I do think he's going to run for the White House. Absolutely.
I do too. Yeah. My sister just told me something that I didn't know. He's dyslexic.
Didn't know that. No.
Didn't know that, but a lot of very successful people are dyslexic. So, yeah, that the mental health is very important. And when COVID hit, they put a lot of the homeless in hotels. Now the hotels are suing the state because they started fires in the hotel. They ripped them apart. You know, what is that? That's That's mental issues.
Yeah, New York is having the same problem. I mean, they're housing a lot of the homeless in hotels, but they're running out of money because you don't house them in hotels for free. There's cost to that. So
Yeah.
New York's running into a lot of problems doing that. Yeah.
This is a good one. Will CRISPR help with menopause?
Oh, absolutely. The gene editing technology will be applied to everything in the body over the next 1 to 2 decades here. So, yeah, absolutely. That's, hormone issues and yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Can I tell you something? I struggled with the worst pains from not with menopause, from even having, the monthly bill.
Mm-hmm.
It was horrible. Menopause, not so much. I guess that's the gift that the realm gave me. They took out everything because I was really anemic. So they just got rid of everything. And after that, I was as happy as can be. Never went through sweating or hot flashes, none of that. And I was 50.
So you were more fortunate in that experience.
I got a little gift at the door because I struggled my whole life with those. I can't help but wonder why. But anyway, this question is in regards to the children who were separated from their parents' guardians at our southern border during the 45 administration, thanks to Steve Miller, when they were moved away from the border without tracking who they belonged to. Were any of the children sold, given to sex traffickers?
Yeah, that's a heavy question, and unfortunately, the answer is yes to that.
Yeah,
Now
I saw that a while ago.
I see it as an ungodly percentage, even 10-15% of the children. So it's very unfortunate, but it did happen.
They did find a good slew of kids, though. I heard
Yeah,
that.
my team saying 10-15% of the population of children that got separated ended up in that area. Yeah.
Okay. Since the annihilation of fairness doctrine and truth in advertising laws and regulation during the Reagan years, is there ever going to be any type of controls, codes, regulations to replace them?
Yeah, there will be. And you can look for that over the next just few years here. It looks like there's going to be a new fairness doctrine within about 2 years, in like 2025.
Okay.
And then there's going to be the technology to back it up. So that fairness doctrine had a lot to do with making sure that both sides of an argument are represented, no matter what the news outlet was. But now you have thousands of social media platforms. You have to include them in the discussion. So it looks like there's a technology backend coming in 4 to 5 years where using artificial intelligence, you can now vet out a lot of the information. And so that then supports that new fairness doctrine. That's what I'm being told. So a couple of multi-steps here, but it's coming.
Awesome. Linda, Sterling, and teams, if the 45 trial in Georgia is televised, will it help convince a good number of 45 supporters about what really happened?
I unfortunately, no, because it doesn't matter what he does. Is a cult of personality at this point. And so anytime he gets into trouble, it's government, it's a weaponization of government coming after him. So unfortunately, that horse is out of the barn.
But let me tell you, if it was Biden, you wouldn't hear any complaints, would you?
Yeah.
Oh, the DOJ is upstanding. And then if they try to get rid of the DA who was convicting Biden, they would just be, oh my God, can you believe? But that's what they're trying to do now with Fani.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Fresh water is one, if not the most important things we humans need for survival. With all the pollution and shortages, the future looks very bleak. Is there any headway being made towards the purification of our water for future generations?
Yeah, there is. I see many forms of new desalination technology coming. And the biggest problem desalination technology has now is it consumes a tremendous amount of energy. You have to use heat sources, very special membrane technology. But it looks like even as fast as 5-6 years here, we're going to have much lower energy technology for desalination. So that's going to start the road towards be able to use ocean water to start getting back to fresh water. So yeah, the big scientific advances in lowering energy consumption for desalination are coming very soon here.
Okay. And this is my question. There's a new hurricane heading up towards
the Gulf.
Florida.
Yeah. The Gulf, yeah.
Is that significant or so-so?
I mean, it looks to me like it's going to be a 1 or a 2. That's not nothing, but it's not going to be a 4. So
Okay. Okay, but there's more behind it, so we'll see later.
there's like 3 or 4 more behind it. Yeah, I mean, this is unfortunately this is the new normal
Yeah,
until climate change starts to get under control. Yeah.
and Sterling, this heat. At one point, St. Louis was 113 degrees.
The heat dome.
Oh my God. Fortunately, right now they're getting a break.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so do you see anything coming up this week?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of activity around 45 and challenges in the courts across all of his attorneys. You're going to see a flurry of paperwork going back and forth on all the cases. I do see somebody else coming out of the indicted in Georgia also asking for a faster trial. So there's some other individuals coming up. So I think when we're done, there may end up being 4 people that want a faster trial out of the 19, including 45. So it looks like that's all coming up. Yeah. Also, and I hate when I see this, but a lot more missile testing out of North Korea.
Yeah,
So they're going to do more missile testing here over and it looks like 1 explodes on the launch pad, 2 more make it in the sky. That's coming. Yeah. And also something else with China and another lunar landing try. So this is now China doing something with a moon landing or trying to get something up on the moon. So it'll be kind of an active week.
Russia tried times 2 to put something on the moon and didn't work each time. I couldn't help, something hit me and said it was the terrestrials. The terrestrials, if you're doing anything that's untoward, they'll take it out.
Yeah, 100%. Somebody asked me that question a while back. It was actually 100% extraterrestrial intervention because there was a nuclear payload on that device. And the nuclear payload in part was for power and part for some other destructive purpose. It's because of the nuclear payload. I just got a cold chill. So that they took it out because it was not good for the lunar surface. Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, Prigozhin, the one who was, and Putin's was all over that. And of course, they said Putin says revenge is best served cold. So he was going to get it no matter what. But I want to ask you, will his people, the Wagner group, actually come after Putin now, or are they going to
100%? The Wagner group is now fully mobilized, is what I get. And actually, what's interesting is they're going to swoop up a lot of the Russian population because, in an odd sort of a way, Prigozhin was somewhat of a hero, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was a real bloodthirsty maniac, but to a lot of Russian people, he somehow was some sort of a hero. So he's actually Putin signed a death warrant for himself. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, he was good to his men and the men's families. So that part was the one thing. But yeah, they were so in love with him when he was in Russia. That drove Putin nuts.
Absolutely, yeah.
But you know what I felt, and we'll see later. I felt almost like somebody faking it, like they thought Putin was great, like somebody coming in and saying, our boss loved you and we love you, almost acting like they're friends. Of course, Putin doesn't trust anybody, but then somehow getting in that way. And I've always seen Putin being taken down by his own people.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people around him now that are out to get him. A lot of insiders. So yeah, but I still see him with pretty bad health problems. So he's hiding them right now.
Yeah.
But I still feel he has cancer, and it looks like a health problem is going to get him.
And also, I saw him stealing money or taking money from the Wagner group.
Oh, it's already started.
Yeah, I saw him with a bag and taking what they made for himself.
Yeah, and that's another reason that he really infuriates everybody that's left in the Wagner group. Absolutely, because now not only do you take down the leader or our hero, but now you're stealing from the organization. Putin signed his own death warrant.
Yeah. Okay, and do you have anything your guys want to share?
They do. For this week. Again, another simple message, but kind of share all the knowledge you have about spirituality with those around you. And don't worry about the reception you get sometimes, because many times you're delivering the message that someone needs to hear. So a lot of times I think if people try to assist other people in terms of spirituality, not saying you be preachy, but they're worried about the reception they might get. Sometimes down the road, those people you talk to come back and say, you know, I was in a bad place at that time, but what you told me really helped me. So it's a matter of having confidence and faith kind of in how you help people.
Exactly. And help others and send out that love, everybody. What goes
Absolutely.
around
Yeah.
comes around.
Yeah.
Okay. Now how do people get a hold of you?
And they need to reach me. I just go to sterlingpsychicmedium.com, look for the book a session tab. And I think we just opened up some dates in November and December. So there's some availability in November and December. Yeah.
Oh, my good friend, Mark Rhodes, the concierge of the San Francisco gay community, had a reading with you, and he said it was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, I do recall. I think it was earlier this week.
Yeah.
It was earlier this week. Yeah. Very, very nice.
And Linda,
very nice
he was
guy.
great. I said, good. It's amazing. I've known him he's the one that introduced me to Allen Chocolates.
Okay.
Worked
Okay.
for them. He was one of their people to get him on the road. So,
Well, very good. Yeah, I mentioned he was working with you on the event up in San Francisco. Yeah.
He's also the one that bought me my crown.
Oh, there you go.
Because he knows who I am.
we all know. It's all good.
Yeah. All right, my friend. Say hello to
Alrighty.
your lovely wife, and we'll see you in a couple of Sundays. And then we'll
Absolutely.
talk to you about October too, because I'm having that surgery the very end of September.
Okay.
I don't know. When I talk to the doctor coming up this week, I'll know exactly how, because if I can't take a shower, I ain't doing a reading.
I hear you. The procedure is all going to go phenomenally well. It's going to go very well for you.
I feel like it's going to go well.
Well, they're telling me that right now. They said make sure you tell her.
Okay.
So they just jumped out ahead.
Even when I had my double mastectomy, I rallied really fast. I mean, I don't know if it's because not involving the muscles as much, but I was able to, do things, except you just can't lift. I just can't lift anything.
Yeah, it looks like this procedure will go not only very well, but the recovery will be very fast too. So, and I don't even know, and I'm just hearing something like if they tell you it's like an 8-week recovery or something, looks like it'll be 3 or 4. So
that's great.
You'll feel much better. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, my friend.
All right. All the best.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you guys in 2 Sundays with Sterling. You'll see me today. I'm doing a live at 1 or 3. Okay. Cheers.
Take care, everybody.